Prince Charles Emmanuel of Savoy-Genevia, formerly the third Duke of Nemours, was walking slowly along the projected route of the first escalade race on the planet Helvetia. As a warm breeze swept across the still untamed fields, he sighed, thinking of the comfort of Almarn Palace, the temporary seat of his fledgling principality's government. Around him, the landscape was one vast construction site. These meticulously surveyed meadows would, in about 15 years, become a living city. After Saint-Antonin, the emblematic buildings of terrestrial Geneva, still absent today, would be rebuilt identically, once again lining the banks of this Rhone beyond the stars. As his minister explained the stakes of the upcoming athletic event, now a civic ritual for the Genevans, the prince absently watched the workers and urban planners toiling away. The land had to be leveled, the foundations shaped, and in time, the architectural legacy of Protestant Rome would rise again, ensuring continuity in urban form. At times, he couldn't help but feel a twinge of envy. He thought of the Prince of Gruyere, a former vassal of his ancestors, who had enjoyed the luxury of building a brand-new capital from scratch, free of historical weight. Charles Emmanuel, on the other hand, bore the burden of a city whose very name evoked centuries of prestige. It was not his to reshape, but to restore, its splendor, its memory, its dignity. History's irony was not lost on him. A Savoy now reigned over land once famed for its resistance to Savoyard ambition. Organizing a celebration of Geneva's heroic defense against his own cousins, what a farce! And yet that was his duty, and his honor. He had agreed to this excursion only to clear his mind. The paperwork was mounting and exhausting. For a man of action born in the heart of the Renaissance, waiting and assuming the role of builder was torture. Geneva still had few inhabitants, but its infrastructure was designed to host a population 1,000 times greater. Train stations, hospitals, universities, libraries, everything anticipated a glorious future. Even Almarn Palace, where he now resided, was already assigned a different role for once Geneva was fully populated. He sighed again. He remembered the rest of the day's schedule. The Chancellor was expecting him to discuss the year-end festivities, yet another Republican holiday. Geneva Restoration Day. On December 31st, he would have to deliver a speech extolling the virtues of this principality he had governed for less than a year. A formal ritual, yes, but a necessary one. And despite his inner grumbling, he could not deny his happiness. He had found here a radiant wife who would soon give him the child he had never been able to have on earth. He thought, not without irony, of the scandal this marriage would have caused in his own time, a misalliance with a bastard, even if the daughter of a powerful foreign prince. The court would never have forgiven him. And yet, this young woman was paternally descended from the younger sister of the very conqueror, whose military withdrawal was commemorated every year. A wink from history, or fate's quiet mockery. The prince smiled. He loved his wife, he was at peace, and he was about to become a father. What more could he ask? He decided to climb the hill where, in 15 years, his official palace would stand. From there, he looked out across the panorama. The new Geneva would rise in the southern hemisphere, on the continent of Romandia, at the mouth of a vast lake, larger than the one he had known, a true inland sea. Unlike its terrestrial counterpart, this Geneva would enjoy much more direct access to the ocean. 200 kilometers to the south, a port was under construction, Port Elisa, named after his wife. He was determined to leave his mark. His gaze lost in the horizon, Charles Emmanuel descended the bare hill. He tried to recall the rendered images he had been shown of his capital, once completed. A faint smile touched his lips. He could put up with a few Republican symbols. Geneva is well worth a few plum tarts. After all, he, General of the Holy League, heir of the Dukes of Savoy, had finally claimed his quiet revenge over heretical Rome. His family would reign here, and for a long time to come. Between resurrected monarchies and transformed republics, the shadow of the princes, Tome 1 of the Chronicles of the Red Kings, pulls you into a new world, where forgotten dynasties rise again beneath distant skies. Follow uprooted princes, rebuilt capitals, and heirs in search of meaning in a future where history is rewritten. A tale where the ghosts of centuries past take shape once more. Now available on Amazon. Join the adventure, where legends are reborn